Sieg Heil, my Führer!
Fucking Nazi-ass Newport pigs. Yeah, they think that they're gonna deny me the rights and freedoms that my grandfathers fought for. It's pretty silly. I made, oh, you know what? I don't think I made it public yet, but I made a playlist and I'll make it public soon. Pig harassment! All the pig harassment that I suffered over the past decade. They turned into like nearly no charges. That the pigs, they almost never get me on anything, yet they keep trying to harass me. I got a jaywalking ticket the other day. It's like out here in Newport, Vermont, under common law, it's perfectly legal to cross the street anywhere. The only thing that you can't do is jump into the road in front of a truck or a car or just whatever motor vehicle is driving down the road. What is it? Under common law in Vermont is a common law jurisdiction since the late 1700s. But under common law, crossing the street, you do as long as you don't endanger yourself or other people, then you're okay to cross the street. And I was perfectly within the law. Yet this pig, Newport pig, I got his name around here written down somewhere. He sent it to me. But he felt like he was within the law to harass me by, number one, yelling at me while I was crossing the street. Which when you're in the middle of the roadway, that's not a time to be screaming at somebody. If they're not in any danger, if there's not like a truck driving at them or something like that. But I don't know. Because if you're screaming at somebody, they're gonna be looking around like, what's going on? What's happening? They're not gonna be paying attention to what they're doing, trying to cross the road. But I did. I paid attention to what I was doing crossing the road. I made sure that the roadway was clear before I was able to proceed, and I proceeded. And still, he's screaming at me, even though there's absolutely no cars coming. I was in a crosswalk, and when I had entered the roadway, I actually had the walk light. And because I was going slow to document the police harassment that I was suffering, because he had made a loop out of his way to come up and be on the roadway that I was going to cross. And he made this loop that made no sense through the laundromat parking lot where they never drive. It's like right there, just behind Main Street, this laundromat parking lot. There's never been any crime in that laundromat parking lot. In like the whole of Newport, the whole time the city of Newport has existed, there's been no crime in that laundromat parking lot. Yet he had to do a loop, pull off Main Street, drive through the laundromat parking lot to come back around to be driving at Main Street on the road that I was going to be crossing. And then as I'm crossing the road, he had a red light. The car beside him had a red light. When I entered the road, I had the walk signal, and I was proceeding, but I was proceeding at my pace, trying to get good documentation of his having done this loop to harass me. Then he jumps out of his car and he's like, "You don't have the walk signal anymore!" He's screaming at me. I'm like, what? Anyhow, while he's yelling at me, the light had changed, and there's cars that they drove around me. I wasn't on the side of the street that they were driving at, and I just let them pass before I moseyed on my way. But I don't know. So it was like, just before that, there's another guy who's telling me that it's illegal for me to ride my bike on the sidewalk, but he'd rather that I ride my bike on the sidewalk. It's illegal for me to ride my bike on the street. No. The Supreme Court of the United States has certified that U.S. citizens have a right to travel. And it's a constitutional right. It's they say that it's in the Fifth Amendment. I don't read the Fifth Amendment to see this as the right to travel. What I see as establishing the right to travel, though, is that the Constitution says that not all of the natural God-given rights are listed in the Constitution, but just because they're not written there, that does not mean that they do not exist. And at the time of the founding, Americans had a right to travel. They could walk into the next state. They could walk over to, whatever city. They could walk down the street, all without having to present any documentation. And, this new regime that they have, it's all wholly bogus. That it's all based on nothing nothing that's a law. This is the law. Common law, which, to my understanding, every state in the United States is bound to provide common law courts by the 6th Amendment and the 7th Amendment to the Constitution. Common law jury trial is codified in the 6th or the 7th Amendment. 7th Amendment to the Constitution. For every allegation that holds a value of more than $20. If somebody alleges that you owe them $20, like the state trying to say that I owe them somewhere between $41 and $1,141 or $1,191 for walking across the street, everything that's above $20, you get a right to jury trial by common law. It's codified in the Constitution, which Sir P took an oath to the Constitution, yet wants to deny me my right to travel, as the Supreme Court has decided is a valid right of the United States citizens. Alright, this says Mayflower lines, but there's more on this. As my ancestors have fought to win for me, personally. When they were doing this, they were like, we're doing this for our progeny. For those who will come after us. We're going to risk our lives so that our children can grow up in a free land. The names on here that, flip the camera around. Like this, that name in bold, that's one of my grandfathers who fought in the U.S. Revolutionary War. The war for freedom in America, which resulted in the Declaration of Independence and the U.S. Constitution being established. That the U.S. Constitution be written and made law. So these are all like up here with the colons after. Those are Mayflower lines. Those are my family who came over on the Mayflower. But these in bold, in the sequence of names, are my grandfathers that fought in the U.S. Revolutionary War. Reuben Freeman. John Hardin. Job Chamberlain. Jeremiah Newcomb. David Snow. Samuel Payne. Jeremiah Newcomb. Oh, I think I already covered that name. Jeremiah Newcomb. You know what? Let me count those up. Make sure I got 6 there, because, see, David Snow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. Reuben Freeman, John Hardin, Job Chamberlain, Jeremiah Newcomb, David Snow, Samuel Payne. Yeah, those are my grandfathers that they fought in the U.S. Revolutionary War to win for me and for their progeny freedom. And, then, post-war, the U.S. Constitution was codified to establish what the freedoms of the people of the United States were. And one of the freedoms, as has been determined by Supreme Court ruling, is the right to travel, which these pigs think that they're gonna deny me my right to travel by harassing my walking and my bicycling on an electric bicycle that goes all of 15 miles an hour.